Hello students, Mr. Bastias here. Welcome to Unit 3, Week 3, Day 3. Make sure you have your meaning mapper, article a day, your book of knowledge, and paper and pencil to write with. Today we will learn about Labor Day and have a discussion by using descriptive details to support our ideas. Let's get started. I know you've seen this organizer before. In the middle we have our focus word, parade. On the top left, you're going to write the definition in your own words. Top right, characteristics or facts about the focus word. On the bottom left, examples from your own life. And on the bottom right, non-examples, things that are not that word. Go ahead and take a moment to fill that out now. So now I'm going to show you how I would fill mine out. The definition of parade in my own words is a celebration in the streets. Some characteristics or facts about parades are that people march and celebrate. Some examples are the Halloween parade and the Pride parade here in New York City. And some non-examples, I would say a birthday party, because even though a birthday party is a celebration, it's not a celebration in the streets. So a birthday party is not an example of a parade. Let's get started with our article a day. Summer reads Labor Day. What is Labor Day? What do you notice in this image and why is it interesting? So take a moment to look at the image on the right. If I read the caption, it says historic image of child laborers at midnight at a glass and bottle factory in Indiana, August 1908. So what I notice about this image is that it shows two children and many children in the back working. Why I find it interesting is because these children are working at midnight. They're working very, very late. And normally we don't let children work and certainly not work that late. Let's get started with our article a day, the history behind Labor Day. The first Labor Day was held on September 5th, 1882 in New York City. It was planned by a group of workers who wanted to show everyone the different kinds of jobs and workers in New York City. These are some workers. Workers are people that do many different kinds of jobs. They also wanted to show everyone how they made their hometown a nice place to live and work. A hometown is the town or city in which a person lives or was born or from which a person comes. So my hometown is Medellin because that's the town where I come from. 120 years ago, working was very different than it is today. For one thing, most children did not spend their summer reading or playing because many worked in factories. As you see in the image of the right, there's a child working in a factory. And you may remember from the beginning of our article a day, there was also an image of children working in a factory. Now, how is this statement different from your life today? That's right. You spend your summers playing instead of working in a factory like these children. Let's continue with our article a day. People both young and old worked long hours, some as long as 12 hours each day. Many workers fell asleep at their work because they were so tired. Some workers were hurt or killed because they were too tired to be careful at their work. So workers were falling asleep and were getting hurt or killed because they were so tired of working 12 hours a day. Wow. Workers were upset at how badly they were being treated. They decided to form unions. A union is made up of workers in a city or workers who do the same kind of work. For example, many teachers may belong to a teachers' union. And yes, I do belong to a teachers' union, and you can see here on the left a teachers' union protesting for teachers' and students' rights. As a union, workers have more power to make changes to their workplace. Unions worked with businesses to make all the changes we have today. The first Labor Day parade was to show how unions had the power to make good changes. On the bottom left, we have the first Labor Day parade. And a parade is a celebration in the streets. So they are celebrating Labor Day. Unions made it possible for children like you to spend your summer reading and playing. Now, take out your book of knowledge. Write down 2 or 3 things you learned from the article and would like to remember. Go ahead and do that now. As usual, I'm going to go back to my article to find some evidence that I want to remember. So the first thing I want to remember is that the first Labor Day was on September 5th, 1882 in New York City. I'm going to write that down. I learned that first Labor Day was on September 5th, 1882, New York City. Another thing I learned is that people used to work 12 hours each day before we had unions. So I'm going to write that down. I also learned that people worked 12 hours each day before they had labor unions. This makes me think of the protests that we had this summer for justice. And I think that's something that happened during Labor Day. When people protested, they were able to get 8-hour days instead of 12-hour days. So I'm going to write that down. This makes me think of the Black Lives Matter protests this summer. Now take out your meaning mapper. In the middle we have the word parade. We've already added celebrate, pride, and march. But what other words can you add to your meaning mapper? Go ahead and add. I added the word walk because people walk during parades and people walk during the Labor Day parade. Now the last thing I want you to do is add the word walk to your word wall. And that's it for me, students. Have a wonderful day and see you next time.